Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. Welcome to Monday night. This is our Monday night live on Facebook here, or if you're watching the pre-recorded replay on YouTube, welcome. This is This Week in Astrology. It is on January 22nd, 2024. And there is a lot of going on astrologically speaking. We had a big weekend and we will get into that. I'm waiting for some people to kind of log on. Oh, yay, Andrea, my first commenter, welcome. There was a lot going on. We'll just say there's a lot going on in the atmosphere. Astrologically, planetary-wise, even the sun, there's all kinds of things happening. So welcome to this week, and I'm going over This Week in Astrology, January 22nd, 2024, all the way until January 28th, 2024. So welcome if you're just joining. Yes, happy Monday, Andrea. Aries, Gemini, Cancer in Vermont, welcome. Tagging people, that's great. Hello, Holly, welcome. Yeah, we have a lot going on. There is a lot happening, we'll just say. Yes, if you know your sun, your moon, your rising sign, like people are commenting, go ahead and comment that below and where you're tuning in from. You don't have to give specifics, but just the rough area would be wonderful. I love seeing where everybody's tuning in from. We have I'm like getting a little bit of a wider audience, which I think is fun. So how did everybody do last week? Last week was a doozy. We had that tsunami. I was calling it an Aquarius tsunami over the last weekend, where on the 20th, Saturday of 2024, January 20th, we had the sun started Aquarius season. So we are officially here in Aquarius season. And then we had Pluto re-entering Aquarius as well, which was a big deal. And then they conjuncted each other. That was on Saturday. And then Mars and Black Moon Lilith formed an alignment as well. What could go wrong? There was just a lot of energy. So we got like a big download. Hey, Ashley Jean. I love that. Hello, Astro friends. Virgo, Libra, Leo. Yay, in Vermont. It was a lot of energy. We got that big download. Anybody else feel it? Did you have any feelings about that? Did you feel the intensity? Because we had a lot of that Pluto going on was fairly intense. And so everybody, of course, would experience that different, and it depends. If you are an Aquarius, Terry John, you are going to be having your birthday. So everybody wants to wish Terry happy birthday. If you are an Aquarius, or if you have Aquarius ascendant or Aquarius Venus or whatever is in Aquarius, is going to be highlighted now, because we're moving into Aquarius season. The sun is in Aquarius, and then we also have Pluto in Aquarius too, which was big time, big time. Emily said last week was rough, like a long rough there. Hey Wendy, welcome. Yes, you celebrating your daughter's birthday tomorrow. Oh, nice. Well, welcome. Happy birthday to your daughter. Wendy, two Wendy's, the other Wendy, Vermont Aquarius as well. Happy pre-birthday, Wendy. Emily, yeah, last week was rough. I'll just tell you, it has been going on. Wendy said, oh my God, what has been going on? Yeah, it's been a doozy. I mean, we had all of that stuff happening, and it's bound to reverberate, and like I say, these big astrological things obviously affect everybody a little bit differently, but will get affected. And even if maybe you're not affected, but maybe your spouse is affected, maybe your best friend's affected, maybe your parent is affected or whatever, we got that big download and we got that big, bumpy. It was, like I said, going from Capricorn to Aquarius is bumpy. It's like boom, boom, like you're kind of hitting one of those speed bumps, but you're going 50 miles an hour and it's like, holy wow, what just happened to my car? That's the way this energy was, because Capricorn and Aquarius are pretty different. I mean, they kind of operate differently. And so it is a bumpy, it's very bumpy ride. And even, having, Capricorn Saturn ruled, Aquarius is Uranus ruled. I mean, so it's just a lot. So we have a big busy week. So I'm gonna jump in because we got a lot of stuff. Now today, yesterday and today was mostly moon transits. So, yes, exactly, Wendy. Pushing that brick wall out of my way all week. That's what she said. Yeah, Holly said, yes, it was rough. Yeah, so there's been a lot of that energy. So basically what the deal is now, Sunday, Monday, going into this week, it was actually astrologically quiet. It's kind of, we're sort of cruising along. We're kind of recovering and recuperating from the big downloads that we received on Saturday and even last week. So now we are dealing with the next day on Tuesday, and that is on January 23rd, 2024, we have Venus moving into a new astrological sign. Okay, so she has been in Sagittarius this whole time for about a month, and now she's moving into Capricorn. So she's kind of lagging behind the pack, if you will. We have some other planets. The sun is already in Aquarius, so now Venus is just entering Capricorn. And that basically is going to be happening like kind of overnight between tomorrow at 3:50 a.m. Eastern time. So what is that? 12:50 a.m. if you're out on the West Coast. So like really kind of overnight there between Monday and Tuesday. And so Venus moving into Capricorn is a return. So if you think of Venus, Venus is the goddess of love and beauty, and she's Aphrodite, and she's how we express ourselves creatively. She's how we express ourselves romantically. And so if you have Venus in Capricorn, if anybody knows if they have Venus in Capricorn, comment below. If you have Venus in Capricorn, you're going to have your Venus return during this time, which is lovely. It's going to be about a month. So Venus will be going in on, like I said, tomorrow on Tuesday, January 23rd, all the way until February 16th. So we'll have Venus in Capricorn time frame. And this is a return of love, love, love. So where is Capricorn in your astrological chart? And you will know how that'll affect you. Wendy said Venus and Capricorn, 5th house. Okay, so you'll have your Venus return. That's very good, Wendy Mitchell, for love and, creativity and children. 5th house is the area of creativity and children and pets that you love as your children. And so that is a wonderful thing. So Venus in Capricorn functions very differently than Venus in Sagittarius. Venus in Sagittarius kind of wanted to play, wanted to have a good time, wanted to like adventure and travel and like think about all the possibilities out there, where Venus in Capricorn wants to get serious. Okay, so it's kind of like, we have a Saturn ruled Venus here, Hey, Rita from Colorado, welcome. Holly said Venus in Virgo. Oh, well, you know what though? If you have Venus in Virgo, that is going to form a nice trine during this time with your natal Venus. So because they'll be both in Earth signs. So if you have any planets in Capricorn, you'll be really feeling this very strongly. It'll be in the heart, and you'll have your Venus return, which is always nice, Venus on Venus is always a positive thing. We have other returns that are harder in a chart, like a Saturn return, Uranus return, and other types of returns. But Venus return is a really lovely thing. And so that'll be a nice deal here. Yeah, Ashley Jean, you're going to get that also. Venus in Virgo, you'll have that also. Hey there, Kate, welcome. Yes, Venus in Capricorn. Okay, Venus Capricorn in the house. There you go. So you'll have your Venus return, which is nice. Oh yay, Rosalie. You gave me the first stars of the evening, 50 stars. Thank you, and probably to Jackson too. Yeah, so we'll be having that. And so Venus in Capricorn is getting back to business and having a plan and, kind of having goals. It's a more driven type of Venus. Hey, Holly, welcome. 100 stars. Okay, we're having a star party. And so this is more about, this could be love in the boardroom. Just saying. Venus and Capricorn people, typically your best match is, and when you're hearing this, I'm talking specifically for Venus and Capricorn, but I'm also talking for us, which we will get the flavor of this transit everybody gets the flavor of it. So if you're born with Venus in Capricorn, you'll have that, like, that'll be your return. But then you'll also have the flavor of the transit. That's what happens when these planets are transiting, is it imparts their gifts upon us, whether they're hard gifts or they're fun and light gifts. And so Venus in Capricorn is all about love in the boardroom, okay? Falling in love at work. I know there's that saying, don't, go potty where you eat. There's that old-fashioned saying. But, that I've seen a lot of Venus and Capricorn people fall in love with people they work with. I'll just say that. Or they'll be attracted to people who are maybe a little bit older or just more mature. Or they are attracted to people who are responsible. They pay their bills, they're maybe a little bit more sophisticated, all those types of things. And that's the type of person Venus in Capricorn is drawn to. Where Venus in Sagittarius, I'm just going to say, is maybe drawn to a little bit younger or more immature, or, that kind of thing. So we're coming out of that. That was the last month that we were in, because it's playtime. Sagittarius likes to play, that's what that sign does best. Now we're getting more serious. And Venus in Capricorn it's not the same as Venus in Virgo, but it is a more discerning Venus, meaning that when we're shopping for a mate or a partner, if you're single, you'll be looking with the lens of a little bit more of like, does this person have a pedigree, or is this person, whatever is important to you, maybe educated, or maybe responsible, or maybe pays their bills on time, or maybe has a good head on their shoulders for business. We'll be looking for someone who's a little bit, has a little something going on for themselves. Not just that they're fun and they make us laugh, which is a little bit more Venus and Sagittarius. Now we'll be coming out of that, and we're kind of getting serious now, Hey, Andrea. Venus party, she said, 50 stars. Thank you so much. And so that makes us, if you're a person that kind of, let's say you're single and you're looking, and I'm going to talk about if you're already in a relationship, how that could play out. But if you're single and you're looking, this is about shopping with a little bit more of a discerning, eye, having a little bit more discerning taste. And we are going to be thinking about long-term future things, and we're going to be a little bit more serious in that manner. We like to have a good time, but it's like, are they really, do they have a plan? Are they accomplishing anything in their life? We kind of want to know these things. And so Venus and Capricorn can be just a little bit more serious like that. And that can help us. So if you're a person who has a little trouble and kind of tends to like people who are maybe addicted to drugs, or just got out of jail, let's say your picker is a little off. I call it the broken picker syndrome. If your love picker is just a little off, and you tend to not maybe vet people in a way, this can help us, because remember, Capricorn's the CEO of the zodiac, and maybe that's not very romantic, but it can actually keep us from getting into trouble while we're dating. We might want to, we might prioritize education or their career a lot. Like, do they make a lot of money, or whatever the thing is? And it doesn't matter if you're male or female, it doesn't matter. We'll be looking for a more serious kind of thing, and that's okay. We just had some playtime during the holidays, and now we're coming out of that, and we're going into that more of a serious love time. Now, if you have if you have Capricorn on your 5th house or 7th house, 5th house is love, 7th house is marriage, that's going to also kind of, your Venus is going to go through there. This transiting Venus is going to go through there just again for a little less than a month. But you'll have that lens when you're shopping, it'll kind of activate that, because that already lives in your chart full time. Okay, I'm talking to you, Andrea. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have whatever lives there. We're just going to have this imparting this lovely, beautiful Venus and Capricorn view. Now, let's say you're already in a committed relationship. Well, this could be a time when you want to be more serious, and it's like, You know, are we getting engaged? What's our future like? What's happening? What's our goals? What are our plans? I did read an article one time on Psychology Today that said that, yeah, it's nice to have, you know, things in common. Oh, we both like chocolate. Oh, we like the same types of movies. Oh, we like those, you know, okay, that's all helpful stuff, okay? But really what matters most and what keeps people together is having long-term goals in common. So let's say you both want to travel in your future, or let's say you both want to raise children in your future, or let's say you both want to start a business together in your future. Those are some really good long-term goals that you can have together. And it is like a little bit of goal setting as a couple. But if you're on separate, if those big term, like long-term goals are mismatched, like one person wants children, the other person doesn't want children, or one person wants to live, you know, abroad, or, you know, whatever it is, and the other person doesn't, that makes life really hard. And then there's a lot of power struggles and there's a lot of confusion. Believe me, you can find somebody out there who has those same goals and that you can align together. And that's more important than the do you like chocolate or vanilla question. It's where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you see yourself doing? Like, what do you want to do with your life? And that is something that psychology, according to this article in Psychology Today, that can keep people together longer than the chocolate and vanilla thing. Because, you know, there's always swirl, you know, we can get around all that stuff. But the big things you can't work around as easily, you know, if there's a real mismatch there. And that can create a lot of resentments, you know. Have you ever been in a relationship where you thought, oh, I can change them, or maybe they thought they could change you? Oh boy, I mean, that's exhausting, because the person's trying constantly to be like, you know, I love you, but be like this. I love you, but be like, it kind of makes you feel bad. And vice versa. If you're doing that to somebody else, you know, like, oh, you know, you could just, you know, maybe change this or this. It's like, no, you have to love the person for who they are, where they are, what they're doing, and not think about that changing stuff, because that doesn't usually work. You know, yeah, we change each other for sure in relationships, but it's really, really slow, and it's over time. I always tell people it's kind of like watching grass grow. Like, you can't really, it's like, wow, like, you know, people call me, is he or she ever going to change? And I'm like, I mean, they already did change like this much, you know? I mean, you got to give it probably 5-10 more years, you know, like, because we all change, grow, and evolve just over time. And of course, whoever we marinate with, I always say we're like little cubes of tofu, whoever we're marinating with the most, of course they influence us, and we influence them, for sure, for sure. But can we make these big, huge changes like overnight, and it's going to be like, you know, you married a slob and then you expect them to be like OCD, you know, Virgo, picking up everything? That's probably not the case, you know? I mean, yeah, maybe you could get them to pick up their socks and that's about it, you know? And so we can't change fundamental things sometimes about people. So that's why it's so important to look at those fundamental things. And I think that's the gift or the blessing that Venus and Capricorn can impart upon us when we're out shopping, or even when we're dealing with a partner or a mate already that is in our life. Are we on the same page? Or do we have the same goals? And if the answer is yes, yay, and we can build on those goals together, work towards our dreams, because, you know, Saturn loves that stuff. Saturn is the ruler of this Venus. Saturn's not the most romantic guy. Now, Capricorn is known for being very sexy behind the scenes, not overtly. Capricorn tends to like to put on a more stoic, you know, kind of coiffed boardroom kind of face, you know, never let them see you sweat. But boy, behind the scenes, my personal experience with Capricorns and talking to many people out there, is that Capricorns are quite sexy when you get to know them, and you break down that barrier, and that is a big thing with Venus and Capricorn. When she can finally relax and she doesn't feel like she has to micromanage everybody, then she can relax. Venus and Capricorn can relax and get a little sexy, you know. But we have to get through that vetting process, and I think that really can be helpful, because a lot of people, I rarely meet people in my I've been doing this now professionally. This year is 20 years. I'm going to ring my bell, my own bell. 20 years professionally I've been doing this, and longer. I've been studying the art of astrology all the way since I was around 12 years old. It might have even been early, but that's my first memory is around 12, or it might have been 10, even 10 years old. But I will tell you, doing this, I usually don't see people vetting people too much. Yes, every once in a while you get that picky person out there, but even when that happens, when I get the picky person, tell me, maybe some of you might even be able to relate to this. Let's say you're uber picky, and then they end up with the wrong person anyway, because it's like, oh, I finally met somebody I'm attracted to, but then they are a narcissist, or they are, don't have a job, or they are, whatever, self-absorbed, whatever thing it is. And so it's like, but I finally like somebody, so I'm going to put all my eggs in that basket because they're the only one I'm attracted to. So even sometimes the uber picky people, once they finally get the person that they're looking, that is attractive to them, at least, because a lot of people who are very picky, they don't have a lot of attraction to a lot of people, and then once they get one, it's like, oh, I have to settle for you because I actually think you're cute, or I'm kind of into you. So it's interesting. I see that uber picky people even have some issues. That's different from being discerning and from vetting people. That's a different thing. That's just more about, I feel like, kind of being a bit of a commitment phobe. I think that sometimes when that happens, it's about that. Yay. Thank you very much, Wendy said. Very impressive. Andrea said, congratulations for my 20 years. Melinda, yay, Melinda and Molly. That's awesome. Welcome. Yeah, you guys both have Capricorn in your chart. See, so I'm talking about Venus going into Capricorn. And so this will help us. I think this will give us a discerning lens, a love lens, so that we can make better choices in our romantic department, and that we can vet somebody. I always say, when you first meet somebody, how long do you work at a company before you get benefits? How long do you work at a company before you get 401k and you get sick time and you get, all the stuff, right? It's usually 90 days, isn't it? Well, the statistic is, and I'm a dating and relationship coach too. A lot of people don't realize, I always say life coach, but I'm also a dating relationship coach. A lot of people don't realize that 80% of relationships break up within that 90-day time frame. How many times have you ever talked to somebody, or maybe you even experienced this, where it's like, how long have you been together? Just a month or two. That's because that didn't make it through the 90-day. 90 days, you don't give benefits until you get through the 90 days, right? So when you're talking about dating, you need to get to know somebody in that 90-day period of time, and you don't give them full wife or husband benefits until they get through that 90-day, because we all wear a mask. We all have a little bit of a, I gotta look my best. Oh, I look like this when I wake up in the morning. No, you don't. No, you don't. And so it's something that we all do. We want to put on our best, but some people sometimes do a little bit more of a switcheroo, where they're really not their true selves. And so we don't need to give wife or husband benefits till we get to 90 days. So if you think about Venus and Capricorn like a corporation, you don't give full benefits until you've been through that 90-day period of time. And then the mask comes off and we get to know the real person around that time. And that's when things start to go a little wonky. It's like, oh, you're actually that way, and you're doing this and this. Oh, I don't find that quite as attractive. Because a lot of times too, even in our best efforts to get to know somebody, sometimes we do project what we want to see. It's like, well, God, they're so attractive to me, and I just want them to be the perfect person. So we start to project sometimes onto them. So that's why that 90-day thing is very important. Don't give full benefits until you get to that 90-day mark. And then you can start to really say, okay, maybe I'll introduce you to my friends, and maybe, but that's something. So we can all learn a little bit from Venus and Capricorn with dating. and relationships. Okay, so hopefully that helps. And yes, this also can be very good. And let's say you're not even into the dating thing at all, like you're just, you're over it, and you're doing you. Well, this could also be a good little season, a micro season, for expanding your business, because Venus is quite industrious and quite money making when Venus is in Capricorn. So that could also help to expand your business if you have any business, sort of plans or goals or aspirations for 2024. That can help us as well. So I hope that helps. And so again, Venus is going into Capricorn on Tuesday the 23rd at 3:50 a.m. Eastern time, and it will be in Capricorn all the way until February 16th. Will be in Venus and Capricorn all the way through Valentine's Day. So, and Juno is in Virgo. So it's funny, we have Venus in Capricorn, Juno in Virgo. Juno's retrograde in Virgo. That's almost like having a little bit of a Venus retrograde. Juno is who our ideal marriage partner is. So boy, both of the lovers here, Juno and Venus, are both in these like uber discerning earth signs, Virgo and Capricorn. So we're a little bit more grounded now with our love life, and that could be good. I think a lot of us could probably use that. So, as we move on to the week, we do have a thing coming on Wednesday, and that is going to be on January 24th, where Black Moon Lilith will be forming a trine with Mercury. She is in Virgo, speaking of Virgo, and Mercury is in Capricorn still. The peak or the height of it is actually going to be overnight. It'll be like 12:15 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, so overnight, Tuesday night into Wednesday. Now, it's a trine. It's positive. I just said Virgo and Capricorn, they're really like first cousins. They really get along very well with each other. They love each other. And so that's good. But this is affecting our communication and how we communicate. And, Black Moon Lilith is a wildcat, I mean, she's spicy. And so when we get her combined with Mercury, blah, whatever can come out of our mouth. So if you gotta like tell someone how it is, this could help you, I guess. It's about being a little bit more, open with whatever we gotta say, because Black Moon Lilith does not like to be controlled, and she likes to be raw and primal, and she likes to do her thing. So when this aligns with Mercury, if you have trouble, if you're like a wallflower person and you're it's really hard to communicate, and maybe something's going on with your throat chakra, this can help you. This will open up the channels and let it fly. So that's happening. It's a trine, which is positive, but it's spicy. It's a spicy positive thing. Wendy said she visited me tonight. Yes, and just remember to keep in mind, I just said it's like 12:15 a.m. just after midnight on Wednesday, or 9:15 p.m. Tuesday night if you're on the West Coast. We're feeling it now. We're in that bubble, like 24 hours before. We're totally feeling it now. And this leads up to the big full moon. All right, so we got a big full moon coming, and I said big, and that was kind of a bit of a exaggeration, because actually she's a micro full moon, and that's coming on Thursday. That is going to be on January 25th. It is going to be at 5 degrees Leo. Okay, so if you are a Leo, you will be feeling this, and the sun will be 5 degrees Aquarius. So if your birthday is this week or around this time, you are really super in the heart of this. But of course, if you are a Aquarius or Leo, you will be feeling this. This is in the heart of things. And so as we go towards Thursday, and the peak or the height of it is going to be at 12:54 p.m. Eastern time. So it's actually going to be in the middle of the day on Thursday. We're going to be feeling that. It's called the wolf moon. This is the full moon, wolf moon, during January. And so we'll be feeling it as we get closer and closer, and especially in the 24-hour bubble before the full moon. Woo, gets spicy. And so that is going to be the next full moon. So if you have any Leo in your chart or have any Aquarius in your chart, you are feeling this, because remember, this is the time where the sun and the moon are opposite of each other. And this always happens during full moons. That's why it's a stressor, a stressing point. during this time. And so if you have any planets in Leo, if you are a rising sign Leo, if you have, sun, moon, rising, especially, or even, Venus, Mars, whatever, Holly's going to be feeling that, right? Yeah, you got Leo moon. That is your full moon. This is going to be your full moon. Now, we started this when we planted seeds all the way back on August 16th, 2023. We planted those new moon seeds back in August. And what's interesting is back in August of 16th, 2023, that was a micro new moon. Now we're having a micro full moon. What does that mean? It means that now the moon is furthest away from the earth instead of it being close. The super moon is like super close and in our face, where the micro full moon is all the way out there. So it's going to look like a little full moon in the sky. Yes. Oh gosh, Kelly. Yeah, it's right on my rising sign too, Kelly. Kelly said rising sign 2 degrees Leo. Exactly. Uranus. Wendy said Uranus North Node, Pluto in Leo. So boy, so it'll depend on where the planet is at the time, but we're all going to feel the full moon. We all feel the full moon. So Tauruses and Scorpios will also be feeling this full moon as well. If you have any planets in those, you will feel it. Now, if you are a fellow fire sign, if you're an Aries or Sagittarius or have an Aries or Sagittarius moon, you will be feeling this too, because this will get all the fire signs will get feisty, because having the Leo moon kind of lifts us up a little, all the matching elements get all lifted up. So if you are Leo, or if you have, Sagittarius or Aries in your chart, all the fire signs will get a little feisty. Now, if you're a water sign, you might not feel feel great in this particular full moon, especially if you're a Scorpio, because Scorpio is going to be a little tested by this full moon. This will be a powerful one. So what were you doing back on August 16th, 2023? You can look through your phone, look through your diary, your journal, or if you just have a great memory and that was just an important day for you for whatever reason, that was the start of this cycle. Now we're coming full circle and we're at the end of the cycle where we're harvesting, we're wrapping something up, we're finishing something. We might be asked to let go of something. We might be asked to release something. We started this over the weekend. With Pluto is all about letting go. And I meant to say that in my last broadcast, is Pluto is very similar in my feeling in that way to a full moon, because full moons are about letting go, wrapping up, finishing something, completing something, ending something. Well, so is Pluto. And so we might have already started some of this purge, getting rid of, releasing some stuff over the weekend. So now we're really gonna get like even deeper and further into it. It's kind of like you thought you cleaned your closet out and then, oh dang, I found a box all the way in the back. Now I got to get rid of that thing too, or go through that. And so what in your life do you need to release, let go? Maybe it's debt. Maybe it's a toxic relationship. Maybe it's just sort of reevaluating something in your life, like a pattern that you do. Like maybe you need to take better care of your body. Maybe you're smoking too much, drinking too much, eating too much, whatever thing it is, or whatever. But you want to let that go, release that, so that you can, move forward and start to bloom, and be able to bring new things into your life. Just like Andrea just said, it was a sad example, but it's true. Your sweet dog, we love him. Rest in peace, Barney. I like saying the name just because I feel like our deceased loved ones really like to be remembered. I always try to, when I'm talking about a deceased loved one, either with my clients or myself or a friend or whatever, I always try to mention the person's name, because they love it when we talk about them in a positive way, not like we're boo-hoo-hoo, and really sad and upset and depressed, but more of fondness. They love it when we tell happy stories and things like that. So yeah, so your dog had just passed away, but now you have 2 gray cats that you brought into your life. And so that's kind of what full moons sometimes are about, is letting go of something in the past and then bringing, so that we can make room. Not that we want to let go of Barney, but it was his earthly time that that, you know, he wasn't going to be here anymore, because we can't live forever, unfortunately. I mean, I think our pets should always live forever. I mean, that's how I feel, but it's hard. And so especially during this particular full moon, because Mars is going to be forming a square with Chiron behind the scenes. So behind the scenes of this full moon, so again, the full moon peak, the height, the maximum of the cycle, the apex is what it's called, is the peak of the full moon. That's coming in the afternoon, and that's going to be at 12:54 p.m. Eastern time. So Mars is going to form a square with Chiron at 12:16 p.m. Eastern time. So see how they're like right on top of each other, practically almost simultaneously. And Mars is in Capricorn, squaring Chiron, which is in Aries. So here we are again, pulling Capricorn into the mix. So if you have, again, Capricorn in your chart, Cancers might even feel this as well. This is a lot of people are being involved with this full moon. And here we have something that we need to heal. Mars can be a little bit aggressive. Mars can be assertive, can be powerful, can be all about, you know, taking action. But the square comes with Chiron, and Chiron is the healer. And so it means these two are not really on the same page. And we have to really, I think what's really important and what really hits me intuitively and energetically about this day is that we have to really sort of sit back and see where it's almost like with Mars, we could be overly assertive, like, here, eat this soup. It's good for you, you know, like a little too much, you know, and instead sit back and read the room. What is the real need? Maybe the real need is silence. Maybe the real need is, you know, not necessarily taking an aggressive action towards something or somebody, okay? Like, I know what's good for you, you know, and it's like, maybe you don't. Like, let's consider that possibility. Maybe you don't know what's good for you. Maybe we don't even know what's good for ourselves sometimes, you know? You ever get overly tired, but instead you're just doing stuff and it's like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I should be napping, you know? And it's like, we're all like, we have that inner child, that inner 5-year-old. And when we look at Leo is all about having a heart of a child in a way. And it is about doing inner child work. Leo is associated with, yes, entertainment and getting out there, but it's also associated with children, play. You know, if you think of the 5th house in astrology, that's Leo's house. That's the fun house. I call that 5th house is the fun house. So 5th house is the area where we play, where we entertain ourselves, where I call it adult entertainment. Like, yeah, okay, as a kid, you might have played with blocks, but what do you do to entertain yourself as an adult? So sometimes that's casinos and shows and things like that. So when we think about play, how do you play? Like, I have a friend of mine that just did this like thing that he used to do in childhood. He used to like do these things with action figures and stuff. And he was like, you know, I know I'm in my 50s and I know that I'm playing with action figures and I don't care. I'm going to give myself permission to play because it's what feeds my soul and what makes me happy. And I can't tell you how many adults really can't even, I've asked people in sessions, I'm like, what do you do to play? And people are like, crickets are chirping. Like they don't even know. They don't even know how they like to play. So when we look at this particular full moon, it does have a little bit of healing in there. Chiron is healing. Mars wants to take action, but maybe we need to sit back and read the room. Or read our feelings and emotions and say, I don't even know what I need, but I know I need to have more fun. You know, how much fun are we all having, you know? And a lot of people have forgotten how to have fun as an adult. You know, I was just looking online, you know how like, you look at one thing and then like all of a sudden you get 20 ads for all these different related things. Well, there was this like weird little yarn thing that like you could crochet or something, but it looked fun. And it was like these little animal like stuff, it looked like stuffed animals. And I was like, I even did that. I looked at that, I was like, oh, that's cute. But then I went into well, what would I do with it? Would I really want to spend my money on this? Would I really want to spend my time on this? It's not practical and it doesn't do anything. Like, okay, but it could be just fun for me, you know? And I had to like talk to myself about that. And so it's about doing something like that. And I feel like this full moon, we really have to kind of get more, remember, this is the peak of something. Yes, it's an ending, but it's also the maximum it can be. So why don't we lean into that and use that? Wendy said, you were responsible at the age of 5. Yes, so you're going to go buy some toys. Oh my gosh, I'm not even joking. I went shopping one time at this antique store, and I found an antique light bright. Okay, a light bright. Remember those light brights? Some of you might not, but I remember in my generation, my time, that was like a big, huge thing. I loved my light bright. And so I bought it. I bought the light bright. You know, did it make any sense? Is it practical? Is it da 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 da? Okay, no, but I like it. And so that's what makes sense. You know, it's something that, like, it gives me a little girlish, you know, like you can see a little twinkle in my eye. I got my light bright, you know. So anything that you can do to get in touch with, how do you play? How does your, like, where do you get the twinkle in your eye? What like brings that little sparkle back for you? And anybody comment below, like what really sparkles? And this is the thing to tap into during this full moon. So yes, could it be spicy? For sure. Mars is involved, Leo's involved, you know, there's a fire sign situation going on, but Chiron, you know, is an Aries. But you know, we could all learn from this, you know. You bought a flying pig puppet. I love that. Disney World, Jessica commented. Yeah, see, I mean, we need to embrace what our inner child wants to do, wants to play with, wants to be, you know, like whatever thing, you know. If you wanted to be a Disney princess, be that princess. I don't care. Be a princess for a day. Put a little crown on and walk around. That's very Leo anyway, being a royalty, you know. But like, let's think about what makes us smile, what makes us feel good. And it doesn't have to make sense. You know, you can buy that, you know, that paint by numbers if you wanted to, and paint something, you know, it doesn't matter. And I think the biggest thing is to not judge ourselves, because I had judgment of myself. My friend had judgment of himself initially, and then he was like, I'm gonna do this judgment free. Like, I'm letting my inner child play with this thing, and it's making me totally happy, and it doesn't have to make sense. You know, whatever makes you feel good, that you can play. That's what this full moon is about. And honoring any wounding that comes up around this full moon, because there could be wounding. It's, you know, Chiron, and you know, Chiron can be like that. But you know, this is something that we need to lean into. So again, this full moon is coming on Thursday, January 25th, at 12:54 p.m. Eastern time. So again, 9:54 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. And so this is about Leo, the inner child, the working of the inner child. That's a Leo thing. You know, if you think about this particular Leo, all signs are powered by a planet. Well, this particular Leo is powered by the sun. So even though this is the moon, it's a sunny moon. You know, it's a sunny moon. So let's shine some light, okay, on our inner emotional, inner child. If we have any inner wounding that comes up around that time, if we're not taking care of our inner him or her, we need to do that. We need to be able to sometimes just love ourselves. You know, if you want to play with a stuffed animal and like, what, who cares? Who cares? We have so much judgment around stupid stuff like this, where we judge ourselves. And I'm talking about the judgment is stupid, not that our desires are stupid, but our judgments around them. You know, we really, you know, and it's like, well, this doesn't make sense. It's not practical or whatever, especially if you have any earth signs in your chart. Definitely you could be feeling that, but you got to give yourself room and permission. You want to sing as loud as you want to sing into a hairbrush in your living room, then go do that. Go do that. You know, you want to dance to your most popular song and just put on, you know, really fun music, then go do that. Oh, nice. Charlie said, play with tarot cards. Yeah, if that's what you like. I mean, look, I did that when I was a kid. Shocker, I know. So shocking. But yeah, I did that too, you know. Ashley Ann said, read your Wizard of Oz books. Yes, exactly. I love this. So yes, I want you to kind of get into that mode. Oh, yay. Thank you, Noel. 99 stars. Thank you very much. I got star party going on here. Yeah. So, this is coming to a peak. I mean, you know, the peak of it is Thursday, but as we get into this week, you know, we're going to be feeling it as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday is the peak, and then we get into Friday, Saturday, you know, kind of, it's like I always give you the guys the example of we go up and over. But remember, it doesn't mean that we just do this one time. It's just that this Leo moon is bringing up for us that, you know, we should do this more often and try to make space for it. Now, the moon will remain in Leo all the way from Thursday into Saturday, the 27th. It'll switch into Virgo at 2:11 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. So be prepared for a very productive chore, you know, weekend, you know, but we'll be in a 48-hour bubble of that full moon in Leo, and that's just reminding us to play, to embrace our inner child, and all that good stuff, you know. And so I think that that's really important. Leo can be a little bit about the ego. Ooh, so we might have an ego thing come up, and you know, that big ego that can get in the way of things, and we have to watch that. That's the shadow side of this particular full moon. That could be the danger zone a little bit if we have like a little bit too much ego and a little too much pride. Okay, those are very Leo things as well. But I think if we lean into the play, I think that would be that would be a good thing. Yes, exactly, Wendy. And Holly said it feels a sense of relief. Yes. And some people do have a sense of relief with Pluto and Aquarius. Remember, not everybody will feel that way, especially maybe Aquarius might not feel a relief with Pluto coming in their front door, you know. And it's kind of like, yay, we're relieved that it's leaving Capricorn, but oh darn, it's coming in to somewhere else. So we have to be, you know, mindful of that as well. Some people it might not be as good for. Okay, so we get into Friday, and there's a lot of smaller astrological transits happening on Friday. But one of the things I want to highlight is that, you know, I just said that Mars is going to form a square with Chiron on Thursday in the backdrop of this particular full moon. Well, the next day, Mercury is going to form a square with Chiron also, because Mercury, remember, is in Capricorn. Mars is in Capricorn, Mercury is in Capricorn. They're kind of getting close together, those two. And so that'll be coming on Friday morning on the 26th at 9:50 a.m. Eastern time. That'll be the peak of it. So here we are wanting to cram, you know, Mars could be a little aggressive with the healing. And then Mercury's going to want to talk and try to make it better. But it's almost like, stop talking, you're making it worse. Stop talking, please stop talking, it's making it worse. Like, don't explain the backstory. Oh my God, that's like making it worse. So that's why I said, I feel like with this particular full moon, I think it's best to go into our hearts, because Leo is the heart and the spinal cord. Okay, two big things. Leo is in charge of two big things: the heart, the physical heart, and the spinal cord, the back. Yikes. You know, I mean, those are two big giant things in our body. So go into your metaphoric heart and really go into our heart and what makes us, what brings us joy, what gives us a little glimmer in our eye, a little sparkle. That's all Leo, you know, what makes our heart happy. Our metaphoric heart will make our literal heart happy, you know, and that's all good stuff. Play, it's great. It's great. Yeah, do yoga, meditate. But I think it's sitting back, because I feel like the trying and the talking and the explaining is all just going to make it worse. So I feel like it's not about hiding and avoiding. It's more about like, read the room, sit back, because there's going to be a lot of, you know, you might encounter a blowhard person during that time. Leo likes to pontificate, you know, and kind of be out there and audacious and you know, all that stuff. So maybe we need to just sit back and read the room. Just read the room and really go more internal with ourselves and really focus on what makes our heart happy. I think that's the big ticket. The big ticket item is making your heart happy during this full moon. Okay, good news. I have some good news. The good news is that we have another planet not going to be retrograde. Going direct is what they call it. And that's going to be coming on Saturday, the 27th, January 27th. That's going to be Uranus. Uranus is the last planet out of all the big planets to be retrograde. That's the last one. And that's going direct on Saturday. The peak or the height of it is 2:35 a.m. Eastern time. So overnight. Another one that's overnight, Friday to Saturday. Okay. So when you wake up Saturday morning, it's going to be direct. Okay. And so the good news, so here's the portion of the good news. Ready? The good news is that we are going to be, after this, we're going to have no major planets retrograde until April 1st. April 1st, Mercury goes retrograde. No, it's not an April Fool's joke. It is literally going to go retrograde, okay, in Aries. That'll be the first, Mercury retrograde. That'll be the big one that starts, okay? But between now and then, we'll have no major planets. Yes, we have Vesta retrograde. Yes, we have Juno retrograde right now. Vesta, if you remember, is in Gemini. She's retrograde. And then Juno is in Virgo, and she's retrograde. It's interesting because they're both ruled by Mercury, both of them. But they're considered to be minor because they're asteroids. But other than that, the major planets, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Saturn, Neptune, all of them, they're all going direct now. So this is a time in the beginning of the year, starting on Saturday, we are going to be until April, no major planets retrograde. So that is go time. This is go time. This is the time to really go out to slay dragons, to start new things, there's nothing holding the energy back. There's going to be a lot of ground that is gained during this time. So, usually I'm like, wait till another day, wait till a better time, wait till that's not retrograde, wait. No more waiting. Okay, so take the lock off the door, let the doors go wide open, okay, pedal to the metal, and this is go time. Because once we get to April, then we start dealing with Mercury retrograde, and then some of the other planets will start going retrograde and blah, 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 and then we get into the summer retrograde time frame. And so, yeah, I know, Jessica, she said, oh no, for my birthday, Aries. Yeah, we got the Aries, so Kate asked how long retrograde. So Mercury's retrograde for 3 weeks, 3 times a year. It's always 3 weeks. She asked if it was the entire month. It's always 3 weeks. I don't remember the exact. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. But it'll be starting on April 1st, and then it'll go direct on April 25th. So April 1st to April 25th, it'll be retrograde. It'll be in Aries. That'll be the first time. So if you want to mark it on your calendar, because remember, sometimes we have to make doctor visits. Nowadays, I feel like we have to really make doctor visits way in advance, or dental visits, or travel plans, or whatever thing it is. So remember, you want to do that ahead of time. So you might want to mark your calendar, April 1st to April 25th, Mercury retrograde. But that's the first retrograde. Otherwise, let's talk about what's happening between now and then, which is no planets retrograde. So this is a big, huge thing that we can go. It's a go time, let's get it done. Exactly, Andrea. Let's get it done. Yeah. So Uranus has been retrograde all the way since August 28th. And what I was noticing about that is we started Uranus retrograde August 28th. We had that last new moon in Leo on August 16th. So it's like we have 2 cycles now finishing this week that was started in August of last year. So it's interesting. I just think that's interesting. So August 28th all the way until January 27th, Uranus has been retrograde. It's always retrograde for 5 months out of the year. It is in Taurus, okay, and it's continuing to be in Taurus, I believe, until 2025. We still gotta deal with this Taurus stuff with 2025. So you remember, Taurus is our earthly goods. Taurus is our money. Taurus is our, supply chain. Taurus is, monetary, stuff. So anybody feel a little crunchy in that department? That could be why, some of this could be why with Uranus and Taurus being retrograde. So good news is it's going to be going direct. And so that means more flow coming into that. Yeah. See, people are already planning vacations, and yeah. I know. Look, I always say the best time to take vacation is Mercury retrograde, but the worst time to fly and to drive and to be in a bus and a train and all, that's the worst time. But it's great to lay on a beach. It's great. I can't think of anything better. Lay on a beach Mercury retrograde is great for laying on the beach. It's just getting there and getting home is the tricky part, you know? So yeah, so that is basically going to happen on Saturday. Now, on the same day on Saturday, remember when I said Mercury and Mars are really traveling close together? That's because they're forming a conjunction on Saturday. So they're both highlighting, they're both squaring Chiron on Thursday and Friday, and then on Saturday they conjunct each other in Capricorn. That the peak of that is happening at almost 10 a.m., 9:59 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday, the 27th. So Mercury is our talk, and Mars is our action. So this is about putting words into action. But like I said, when they're highlighting each other Thursday and Friday, that's when the full moon is going on, and that's where we don't want to be like enforcing ourselves or putting ourselves into a situation that we're not supposed to be. So it's a little tricky because this is about assertively speaking and assertively, you know, acting and walking the walk and talking the talk and all that kind of stuff. I think really the key with all of this is to go within ourselves and really make sure that we are being congruent with our own energy. I think that's really what this is about, is being congruent in ourselves and what we're putting out to the universe. I even caught myself recently this weekend. I put something out into the universe that was conflicting. On one hand, I wanted this one thing. On the other hand, I wanted something else. And I got the thing, and the thing came to me but it was not in the way that I wanted. And it was like a very mismatch. And I was realizing what I was putting out into the universe was a conflicted desire. And so when it came back to me conflicted. And even myself, who's a pretty seasoned manifester here, I've been manifesting now for over a decade, longer, probably 15 years or so I've been doing manifesting. And I even had to catch myself. So look, I mean, sometimes we need to just be congruent and have that congruent message of like, I do want this or I don't want that, you know? And I think that's really what this energy is about. The sun will form a square with Jupiter on the same day. Also, the sun again is now in Aquarius. Jupiter is in Taurus, and they're squaring each other. That's like, don't push your luck. Okay, it can be a lucky time, but don't push your luck. Okay, just because you won the lottery, like the numbers one time, doesn't mean you should buy 45 more tickets. It's just like, don't push your luck. Okay, it can be a lucky time, but don't push it. Okay, that's what that's saying. And the peak of it again is overnight, from Saturday to Sunday, Friday to Saturday. It's going to be peaking on Saturday 27th at 2:18 a.m. Eastern time. And so don't push your luck, and don't put your foot in your mouth and insert yourself into a situation that you shouldn't be. Then the energy just keeps getting more as we go from Saturday to Sunday. So this weekend coming up, next weekend, I should say, 27th and 28th of January, is jam-packed full of astrological energy. It's nicer energy than what we just went through last weekend. Last weekend was ouchy, okay? This weekend is definitely nicer energy, but it's a lot of energy. And what I feel, even when it's a lot of nice energy, it's like sometimes can be too much, just too much stuff. Okay, so as we get into the 28th on Sunday, Venus forms a sextile with Saturn. Okay, that's good for our love life. Then we have Mercury forming a trine with Uranus. That's going to be, you know, lively and hyper and a little extra dose of stuff. And then we have Venus forming a trine with Jupiter. I'm not going to break all that down just because it's so much, but we have Venus, 2 Venus transits and 2 Mercury. We have another Mercury transit on that day. Both Venus and Mercury are going to be highlighted. And then the day before that, Mercury was highlighted by Mars. What I've seen, and yes, these are trines, and yes, these are positive and sextiles and all that, though Mercury will square the north node of the moon on Sunday as well. Whenever there's this much Mercury activity, it can feel like a little bit of a Mercury retrograde, okay? So think about on the weekend, things might be go a little wonky, a little haywire, a little like, oh God, I got to repair this, or, you know, something. And this can also really, what I'm seeing here is love, communication, action, our luck, I mean, we got a lot of planets. We got a lot of planets activated. We got Jupiter, we got Mars, we got Mercury, we got Saturn, we got Venus, we got Uranus. That's a lot of planets, okay? And too many to break down. North node of the moon even is all, I mean, that's like almost every planet, you know, like we got like all, you know. So it's good energy. The energy is, most of it is nice, friendly energy, but there's just a lot of it. And whenever there's a lot and whenever it's a mixed bag like that over the weekend, it basically means that we have to just sort of just be mindful that there's a lot going on and everybody's experiencing that differently. You're going to experience that differently than your neighbor and your best friend and the car driving in front of you and all of that. So just be mindful that there's going to be a lot of downloads that are coming, and we might be getting hit from all departments. And even though it's friendly, it can be a little stressful on the nervous system. Look, we just went through that full moon, and then instead of resting, which a lot of times after a full moon, things tend to calm down, and then we can have that big sleep that we didn't have during the week, because full moons do affect our sleep, and that's been scientifically proven that full moons do affect our sleep. Then instead of being restful, it's go, 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 and it's a lot of busyness and a lot of activity. So we just want to be mindful of that on Saturday and Sunday of next weekend coming up. A lot of energy, a lot of involvement of Mercury and Mars and Uranus. Oh my goodness. Even the next day on Monday, when I see you, it'll be Mars will be trine Uranus. That's a lot of stuff. So that could be experienced in our physical bodies, like through our nervous system. We might really want to focus on grounding this weekend, that coming weekend, really ground ourselves. Maybe do some yoga, meditation, get outside for a walk, just have some quiet time, just a little bit of alone time if we can, because it might be overwhelming, you know. So yeah, so I hope that helps everybody. It was a lot. I know it was a lot of. Wendy said, are we going to have 2 months of, when are we going to have 2 months of easy? You know, I don't think the universe does easy. I don't, you know, sometimes it does. Cancel clear. We should say sometimes it does, but, you know, we have a lot of lessons that come, and, you know, we're on Earth School, and that's what we're meant to do here on Earth School, is experience these lessons, however we experience them. Oh, I'm sorry, Noel. You commented that last weekend was very tearful for you. Yeah. Yeah. Darlene said you felt like you needed alone time. Yeah. I mean, it, you know, because sometimes this is like, we need alone time. We need to like wall off a little bit, you know? So there's a lot of big things. I would say the big major things happening this week, just to recap. And then also, if anybody has any quick questions for me, oh, Joanne, I'm so sorry. You've been in a funk lately and you didn't wonder why. Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, Joanne, you're a Taurus, and Uranus has been retrograde in your sign. Jupiter's going through your sign too, which is good. But I will tell you this Pluto stuff has been very, very a lot of shadow work. You know, I did the broadcast last week about Pluto and how, you know, Pluto in Aquarius is going to be opening up a new portal for us, and a new level of shadow work, and a new level of stuff that we got to be going, and we got to be thinking about, and all this stuff. And it is a very deep, Pluto is the deepest of all the signs, you know, or all the planets. And so now we're going to have a new area that's getting initiated, and some of that can feel funky. I mean, some of it's real sticky and icky, and, you know, we're opening up a new portal, you know, in our chart. And just so that you guys know, I don't think I really said that very clearly last week, that Pluto, if you guys aren't sure what I'm talking about, last week I did a whole broadcast about Pluto, moving into Aquarius and stuff. So if you didn't see it yet, go back and watch it. And here's the cool thing. I'm going to try to do it this week too. But last week, I time-stamped the video. So you can go below. If you just want to skip to that point, you can just go below and hit the timestamp. It's like setting up a chapter in a book. And then you can skip right to the Pluto and Aquarius chapter. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check that out. But in one lifetime, Pluto only changes usually 4 or 5 or 6 signs at most in a life. So when it changes a sign, it's really, really powerful. because it's like a whole new, now we're in a whole new 10-year, 20-year, whatever cycle. This particular time, this is going to be 21 years. Pluto in Aquarius is 21 years long. I'll be in my 70s when that thing, I'll be on YouTube talking about Pluto going into Pisces in my 70s. I can't even like wrap my head around that. But yeah, that's how long it's going to be in Aquarius, you know? So, you know, that's a big deal. It's a large chunk of life. It's 2 decades long. So we'll be talking a lot. I'll keep, because that's not a one and done conversation. I'll be talking a lot about Pluto. Oh, thank you, Juliet. Everybody's doing math in their head now. That means she's, yes, that means I'm in my 50s. Yes, thank you. Oh, sorry, I just dropped my calendar. I credit my vegan diet, for helping me with that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just a lot, you know? Oh, thank you, Juliet. 100 stars. Thank you. Thank you. Yay. Love that. Okay. So everybody's looking good, laughing. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Doing a lot of shadow work. A lot of people are asking for that. Excuse me. No. Okay. No, you asked about you're both out of work. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just going to pull a card here from my deck. What does Noel need to know? So like I said, the big 3 things this week, I'll do that when I do the card. You know, I always do the card at the end. One card for what we need to know. But I'm going to do a quick card for Noel because she asked about her and her husband are out of work right now. So what do we need to know? You know, I know that you talked about that. I don't even remember. Maybe it was a couple months ago, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago. I can't remember now. No. But actually, a lucky break feels like it's very much around the corner. Very, very much around the corner. I'm getting a card of a lucky break, meaning that things are changing, switching. I do feel like this is for your husband and not you, because it looks like a male. Okay, so just so that you know, and this is the card of Saturn, but it looks like it's a male. So I'm thinking this is your husband. He has been laying a lot of groundwork. He's been talking, communicating, sending out his resume, contacting people, doing all kinds of things. So he's laying a lot of groundwork. But look at this card. Look, dead tree, beautiful new tree, a butterfly, change, metamorphosis. Okay, things are changing for him. And then this is the card, magician card. He has everything he needs. He's going to be able to do something. It's like it feels like a lucky break. So I would have faith, okay, in his groundwork that he has laid, because I do feel like he's been quite busy laying some groundwork. Yeah, so I hope that helps, but you're getting great cards. So keep me posted. Hopefully that'll kind of free up for you. Yes. Charlie, you're wanting someone to accept you as a friend. I'm not sure what that means. That's like a statement. I'll just pull one card for you, Charlie. I'm not sure exactly. I guess you have a question about a friendship. I don't know. I'm not sure. This is kind of looking like a no, Charlie. This is rules and regulations, boundaries. I don't know. And then you get hello from heaven card associated with this. So Archangel Azrael, your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel their loving blessings. I'm not sure. Like, there's not a feeling of big open arms, welcoming. And here's the thing, what I would say is you want to find your people that are like, hell yes, I want you in my life, and like, yeah, like now, you know, not like I'm pushing you away and there's a boundary and a rule and another boundary and all that. You know, that has a yucky, like, pick me, please pick me. That has like a yucky feel to it, you know? So I'm getting cards of like, you want to find your people, if that helps. All right, so I don't want this video to be too long. I already just ran over. But I'm going to pull a card. So remember, if you guys ever want to have a personalized astrological session, I know a bunch of you had asked questions. Please feel free to contact me for a personalized reading. I can get really in depth with you, go over your timelines of things, go over how this will affect you on so many levels. And a lot of people say that my readings are very insightful. It really like helps them to improve their relationships, make more money, do business. You'd be surprised. I have a lot of business clients that I do. So I don't do readings in person any longer. I do them on Zoom only, and which is better because we get to record the reading and you get to rewatch it. Okay. So yes, I hope this helps. And so I'm going to pull a card. What do we need to know? Okay. So we have the big three things this week that I think are the big things are Venus moving into Capricorn. That's happening on Tuesday of this week. Then we have the full moon on Thursday, which, you know, has a little Chiron, a little Mercury, a little Mars behind it, you know, so it's a busy full moon. And then we have Uranus turning direct on Saturday, which is a great thing. So we have big three things. It's a busy week. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of things every day. Like there's something going on this week. So what do we need to know to navigate this full moon, all this energy? What do we need to know? Oh, I love it. Oh, this one's beautiful. Spread your wings. I don't know if you can see that there. Trying to get it for the camera and for YouTube. Spread your wings. Archangel Ariel, do not hold back right now. Timing is perfect. You are ready to soar. Remember what I was saying about how the planets are all coming out of the retrogrades one by one, and we're starting to be able to spread our wings and make some headway, get some forward progress, move ahead. We've been having a lot of holdups, a lot of like, oh, you gotta wait and you gotta wait longer. Because remember, if you don't do it now, then the next set of retrogrades hits, and then you're back to waiting again. So do it now. Between now and April, we're being asked to spread our wings and make some forward progress, lay down some groundwork, okay? And really, really do some, personal development, open yourself up to new things, because this is the time to do new things, not to repeat, not to review, not to reevaluate, but to actually just start fresh. And so between now and then, we have an open invitation, and every year this happens, but sometimes it's only 2 weeks. Sometimes it's several months. It depends on the planetary cycles. So make the best of it. We got almost 3.5 months, we'll say, okay, of no retrograde planets. And that means forward progress, move ahead with your goals, start all the fresh stuff. Okay, start it now. You don't have to review. You don't have to worry about not being on a dating app or not calling exes or not, who cares about all that? Do forward movement. By the way, don't play around with exes. Start fresh. Remember, springtime is coming, okay? We want to start fresh, okay? All right, everybody. So I hope that helps. I know it was a lot. You might have to listen to this in 2 parts. Again, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like the video. Make sure that you go ahead and go over to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and comment below, what your thoughts are. And I love talking to all of you. I love my Astro community here, and you guys are amazing. Have a great week. Namaste. All right, take care. Bye.